The 2025 NBA Finals wasn't just a clash of two elite teams, it was the ultimate twist of fate. On one side, the Indiana Pacers, a team without a single championship to their name. On the other, the Oklahoma City Thunder, a franchise still carrying the ghost of the Seattle Supersonics, but the real headline. This series was all about one man, Paul George. Because somehow, without stepping foot on the court, Paul George built both of these teams. After 2 seasons in OKC, PG did it again. This time, he requested a trade to team up with Kawhi Leonard in Los Angeles. The Clippers agreed, but they had to pay big time. In exchange, the Thunder received gilgeous-alexander, 5 first-round picks to pick swaps, and Danilo Gallinari. At first glance, it looked like OKC hit reset mode. But one of those picks turned into a rising all-star, Jalen Williams. Add in the emergence of SGA as an MVP candidate, and suddenly, the Thunder had a new dynasty brewing, all because PG wanted to leave. And just like that, both Indiana and OKC were sitting on gold thanks to trades involving the same man. Meanwhile, Indiana had another big decision to make. By 2022, Sabonis had become a star, but the Pacers weren't contending, so they gambled again. They traded Sabonis to the Sacramento Kings in exchange for Tyrese Haliburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson. At the time, people questioned the move. Haliburton was talented, sure. But giving up a 3-time All-Star, risky, but from the moment he arrived in Indiana, Haliburton blossomed. His numbers spiked, his vision was elite, and before long, he was named an All-Star and All-NBA member, leading Indiana to the playoffs for the first time in years. So let's recap. Indiana gets Haliburton. Because they had Sabonis, they got Sabonis. Because they traded Paul George, OKC gets SGA and Jalen Williams, also from a Paul George trade. And just like that, both finals teams were being powered by the ripple effects of PG's career decisions. Let's break down how these teams stack up. The Thunder have been dominating the postseason, averaging 117 points per game while holding opponents to just 105 to +12 scoring margin. SGA is averaging nearly 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists, and has become the undisputed MVP of the playoffs. Jalen Williams, he's putting up 20 a night, making his mark as OKC's second weapon. On the other side, the Pacers are right behind them offensively, also averaging 117 points per game. But their defense tells a different story. Their opponents have scored an average of 115, giving them only a +2 differential. Still, Indiana's strength lies in its depth. 6 Pacers are scoring in double figures compared to OKC's 3 and leading the charge. Pascal Siakam, the most consistent playoff performer for Indiana, shooting over 50% from the field and 46% from deep. Behind him, Haliburton is racking up nearly 10 assists per game. The stats are close, but the styles couldn't be more different. OKC plays with firepower and control. They rely on long rotations, elite perimeter defense, and a home court advantage that's been nearly untouchable, going 8-1 at home in the playoffs. They've shut down stars like Anthony Edwards and plan to do the same to Haliburton. Meanwhile, Indiana plays the comeback game. They've clawed their way back from huge deficits multiple times this postseason. They thrive off bench production, led by McConnell, Nembhard, and Nesmith, and use an 8-10-man rotation to wear opponents down. And then there's the X-Factors, Alex Caruso for OKC, bringing championship grit and lockdown defense. Siakam for Indiana, a former NBA champion with the Raptors. Both teams are deep, both are dangerous, but only one has the edge when it counts. When you look closely, the fingerprints of Paul George are everywhere in this series. SGA, Jalen Williams, Haliburton, even Sabonis. All of them were acquired through moves that started. With PG, he didn't just leave to teams, he gave them the blueprint to win. Whether it was intentional or not, Paul George's decisions indirectly built to rosters that would eventually clash on the game's biggest stage. And the irony, while the Pacers and Thunder are fighting for their first ever NBA title, PG is sitting at home with the Clippers, the team that gave up everything to get him, and still hasn't reached the finals. The man who tried to chase a ring elsewhere ended up giving to other teams their best shot at glory. They're calling it the Paul George Finals, not because he's playing, But because both rosters exist because of him, his departure created opportunities. His trades launched careers. He left, but left behind legacies. Now, the Pacers and the Thunder fight for history. Both want their first ring. Both believe they deserve it, but win or lose, they might all owe a thank you to the man who set it all in motion. Paul George didn't just change teams, he changed the NBA.